Now, we had a painful example of, I think, getting this wrong in Austin this week at the Texas Muslim Capital Day. Some of you saw this. Muslims who live in Texas were doing what many other Texans do at the start of our biennial legislature. They were gathering to say, we're Texans too, the way every association of dog catchers and plumbers helpers and Native American casino operators do when they gather and whatnot. It was up till then a peaceful gathering intended to demonstrate law-abiding character among Muslims in Texas, but some Christians gathered, got wind of it, and came with placards declaring, I serve a risen Savior, Jesus is Lord, and the like, and shouting down every speaker. At one point, a woman who was so taken over by rage, I had to wonder whether she had an unclean spirit herself, grabbed the microphone by force and declared the lordship of Jesus and hatred of Muhammad and all Muslims. Now, people, free speech is a messy thing. But my question is whether this is the way of Christ. Does loud and hate-filled ranting about Jesus' lordship and the demonizing of people who disagree with you, does this produce the kind of spiritual authority that delivers people into their right minds and gives them their lives back again? The witness was bold, but was it a witness to the way of Christ? On the other hand, we had a beautiful example of the way of Christ in South Carolina this week. A woman who was working on a children's book had some time ago stumbled on the story of the Freedom Nine. In 1961, back in Rock Hill, South Carolina, 9 black men had just gotten tired of the demeaning effects of the demonic policies of segregation that strip people of color of their full participation in society. And so they nonviolently determined to sit down at the lunch counter of a drugstore and order lunch. That was it. Whereupon they were arrested and went to jail, serving 30 days of hard time. As they said this week, though, we wanted freedom more, the right to choose, the right to walk down the street without being spit upon. Well, back then, civil rights protesters were all from going to jail, but they were quickly bailed out. The problem was that it was getting very expensive. And so the Freedom Nine decided that their theme would be jail, no bail. They would do their time. What they didn't anticipate was their time wasn't 30 days, it was 54 years of the indignity of having that on their record for every employment opportunity and social occasion. The writer Kimberly Johnson learned about this, and she first took it to the county solicitor as an advocate on their behalf. He looked at the case and realized it was only the color of their skin that caused the problem, and they were treated unjustly. And so he took it to Judge John C. Hayes, who vacated their convictions after all these years. The men finally felt vindicated, and the judge said, "We can't rewrite history, but we can write history." Nice. You want something more interesting? Here's the kicker. Judge John C. Hayes, the nephew of the judge who wrongly sentenced the Freedom Nine in 1961. Wow.